What should an author be doing to market their own book? How involved should they be versus focusing on writing the next book?
Well, okay, so I would push on that a teeny bit, that oftentimes marketing on a book level is inaccessible to authors because it's about, so marketing is the stuff you pay for. So it's the placement in stores. It's the, like, those kinds of things are not available. Like promo buys are often not available. There are some exceptions to that, like places like BookBub where you could do an ebook like blast. Some of the Goodreads stuff authors can do on their own. So like there are things that are accessible, but for a large part of the lift is going to be on the publisher side. The publicity piece of it, authors can make a huge difference in, like, with just some sweat equity for things like if you have an event set up, making sure that you like beat the bushes and don't just rely on social media to turn people out is a thing that people skip a lot of the times because they feel like, oh, I don't want to like make people feel weird. And I'm like, make people feel weird. Like people will think, oh, like good for you, you've got it. And they won't understand that like you really want them to come unless you actually say like, I really want you to come. And it's okay if they can't, no big deal. But like we've been encouraging people to really do direct outreach about their events, send people emails, do an evite, like make it an event. And that's an instance where an author's individual effort will absolutely return dividends because your connections and your network and mobilizing those can take an event that would have had 4 people and turn it into an event that has 40 people. And that pays dividends down the road, both for that bookstore having you back, for your publisher seeing that you're someone who can draw a crowd in an event. So like there are lots of ways that an individual author's strengths can be mobilized around and in support of what the publisher is doing. But there are certain things that are just inaccessible. Like you can't control whether Barnes & Noble agrees to put your book on an end cap. And so it's part of our job is about informing and educating about like what you can control and what you can't, and how your efforts can supplement what's going on the publisher side. And also like if what's going on the publisher side is a little anemic, that happens. It's also on us to like really take what you're doing and present it to the publisher, because sometimes instead of just yelling, you're not doing anything, you can get more out of them by saying, look at what we're doing. Can you support this author's efforts in X, Y, and Z ways? So there's always like a conversation. Again, like it's all about like continuing to find ways to come together and work together and use each other's strengths appropriately.
Makes sense to me. Well, I've got about 20 more questions for you about writing and publishing. We won't get to them all.
I have a little more time if you want to keep going.
Well, before I forget, let's make sure we cover this one, or the audience will come after me with pitchforks. Holly Root, have you ever seen a flying saucer, and do you believe in them?
I have never seen a flying saucer. I do believe in them. However, I think that if there were advanced life forms able to travel here, they would come through, take one look, and be like, nope, and head right back on up. We're not ready. They might come.
Probably true.
They might come talk to whales, but humans, nah, too destructive.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We're making the right decision, aliens.